What's up guys, it's Dustin from We Love Upholstery. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how this arm was damaged and how we're going to repair it. What we're going to need today is going to be an ice pick, pair of pliers, screwdriver, some wood, a staple gun, and some other tools that we'll show you guys further into the video. Alright, so what we're going to want to do next is flip the couch onto its side, and we're going to want to work towards getting this arm cover off. So we're going to want to remove this leg first, then we're going to open the dust cover, and then remove the staples here for the fabric that's holding it together. So we're going to want to need a pair of pliers, ice pick, and a drill, or a screwdriver if you don't have a drill. Next, we're going to want to take the pair of pliers and then remove the dust cover just to the point of where the arm comes down here and some down here, just so that way we can remove the arm and expose the damaged portion. And if you guys don't have these tools, we'll link them down below. You can buy them for fairly cheap on Amazon. And if you do happen to damage the dust cover, it's not a big deal. We'll link some down below on Amazon as well, just so that way if you want to replace it and make it look pretty, you can. This next part, you're going to want to take your ice pick and you're going to find the staples and get under them and pry them out, so that way we can release the fabric. Alrighty, so once we've exposed this entire piece of fabric here, so that way we can kind of see inside the arm, what you're going to want to do is come to the back of the couch. The back of the couch has something called a tack strip that runs from the top to the bottom, just so that way it holds the fabric in place. You're going to want to go ahead and grab your ice pick. You will also need a mallet or a hammer, but preferably a mallet because hammers will damage the wood. So it kind of will look odd if you hit it with a hammer too hard. We're just going to want to pry in between the tack strip here and the fabric. You can kind of feel in there. We already got one of the teeth out, and just slowly kind of work our way up, so that way we can expose the entire tack strip. Alrighty, so now that we have the entire tack strip exposed, you don't really need to remove this, just kind of leave it dangling here. I would just watch out for it because they are kind of sharp. You could cut yourself by touching it. So what we're going to do now is remove this entire point here of staples, and then we'll be able to access the entire arm fully and easily. So we'll cut back to you guys once that's done. Alright, so now that we've exposed the back side here, remove the tack strip, the arm is still attached by this piece of fabric here that's sewn to it, and then there's another piece on the inside of the back here. Once we remove those pieces of fabric, then it will be able to release fully from the frame. So what you're going to want to do is come in here and just kind of pull it up with the pliers and kind of remove it slowly. The thing with this is that you don't have to be too careful because nobody's really going to see this. You're not even going to see this unless you come back in here and have to repair the arm again. So awesome, so that's loose. Then we're going to want to come and hit this point on the inside here. So for this point, what we're going to want to do is, when the arm and the back are stapled inside the frame, they're generally on this side, or obviously if the arm is on the other side, if you have the right hand facing chaise, it'll be here on the wall. What we're going to want to do is remove these. You can just kind of tug them or hit them with the pliers and it'll come right off. So awesome. So now that this is fully removed here, you can see no staples are holding it in place. We can finally pull the arm off. So we put it back to its feet just to give you guys a better visual here. Now that we have released the point in the back, on the underneath, and the fabric below, everything's pretty much ready to take a look and see what damage is going on here. So now we can just kind of peel this up a little bit and we're going to see what's exactly going on here. So your arm might not be as bad as this one, but this one's pretty bad. So you can see clearly there's obviously broken boards. Generally, when these arms are constructed, they put 3 bars that run pretty close to each other, one here, and then one here, so that way they run across. What we're going to need to do, since the boards are split in half, we're going to need to add new ones. In other instances, that it might not be as bad and you can just kind of wood glue them and repair them just like that. But we'll cut back in a few moments when we have the wood and everything ready to go. What you're going to want to do is find some replacement wood. If you can't find any, you can always go ahead and just take this and kind of do the best as you can with some wood glue or something and screw them together. Maybe some duct tape. I'm not really sure how desperate you are. Or if you want, take this piece of wood that's broken, take it down to the local hardware store, maybe Home Depot, something like that, and see if you can find something similar to this. And you know, you can then use that replacement for the couch. So we have some extra wood lying around. We just went ahead, laid it on top of the wood and marked it here so that way we can get the exact measurements. Or if you want to be precise, just measure from here to here with the tape measure and you'll be good to go. So once that's done, you're going to want to go ahead and kind of line up the wood. You're going to either want to use some screws, or you're going to want to use an air compressor tool with bigger staples and go ahead and staple the piece of wood into place. All right, so now that we have 2 pieces of wood for our case, we're going to want to put them here in position, and then we're going to want to secure them either with, like I mentioned, screws, or we have a larger staple gun that will do just the job for us. So you don't really need a second person for this or nothing like that. So you can just kind of hold it here in place, position it right, and that we have everything measured properly. It fits nice and snug, so that's great. So we're just going to want to secure it back in the position where the previous staples were, just so that way we don't have any issues on how the arm looks afterwards or anything like that. So all right, just like that, the arm, one of the wood pieces for the arm is now secure. We're going to want to do the second one, and if you just look at the position, if your arm was as shattered as ours was, you can just kind of look at the frame here. There's indentations of where the wood would have been. In our case, obviously we couldn't really see that because everything was so destroyed. So just line the things up and you'll be good to go. And just like that, we now have our wood installed into the frame, and it feels pretty damn firm. Just some extra shots for safe measures. So now what we're going to want to do is put the arm back together just how it was, see how it looks, and then we'll take it from there. Alrighty, so now that we've re-put our boards in place, or re-secured our boards in place, every single arm generally comes with this cardboard. As you can see, our cardboard is severely damaged. You can go ahead and even get cardboard from your, when you buy the box of trash bags or whatever, and re-secure the cardboard with something like that, because it's just regular cardboard, nothing crazy. But what we're going to want to do is basically put this back in place and re-secure it with our staple gun, just like this, so that way it gives that nice round look to the arm. Okay, so we found a nice piece of cardboard. What we're going to want to do is re-secure this here, so that way, like I said, it gives that nice round finish to the arm and it doesn't look like off. Just peel up this little bit of Dacron here, so that way we can kind of line this up on the arm here, so that way it's not, you want to make sure that it's lined up so that way it's not overexposed, so it doesn't give the front of the arm like some indentations and looks off. So we just want to make sure that this looks as good as when you bought it. So you will need a staple gun. If you guys don't have one, we'll link them down below. You can either use one that is air compressed, or you can use the manual one. The manual one does require a little bit more labor. Your forearm might start to get a little bit sore afterwards, but all in all, still accomplishes the same goal, to repair the arm here. So first, we're going to want to secure this at the bottom, then come up and round it out with your hand here, and then we're going to want to hold it in place, so that way we can secure some staples here. And then in our instance, cardboard is a little bit longer, so we'll probably just trim the excess here and just leave it there just like that. So secure your cardboard over to the extra pieces of wood here, and there we go. beautiful cardboard. Then what we're going to want to do, resecure our foam and the Dacron into position, so that way we have that nice flush finish. So now what we're going to want to do is go back in, and we're going to want to add the foam back on top here and the extra layer of Dacron. So just position your foam back to where the arm is, and we're going to want to resecure this. This part we're going to want to resecure with some staples, just so that way it doesn't shift around when you're resting your arm on there or anything like that. So this is one of the best ways to secure it. As for this, what we're going to want to use is some spray glue. We're going to link some spray glue that we highly recommend in the description below if you don't have any, or you can go to your local store and pick some up. But you want to add some here. Then we're going to resecure this. Just make sure not to spray your fabric, because it is a little bit of a hassle to remove the glue from fabric. Just make sure to spray the Dacron or the foam exactly. And just kind of shimmy everything on here slowly. Make sure that it's nice and smoothed out, so that way we don't have no wrinkles through the fabric. Push everything back into location. And just like that, we are about 50% of the way done. What we're going to want to do next is grab our arm, and we're going to want to put that sucker back on there. So as you'll see, we find the front of the arm here, goes here, place it on there like so, and just kind of smooth it down as best you can. We're going to want to just kind of get it back into position of where it was. Then we're going to want to resecure everything with our staple gun. Make sure to push down these black bits of fabric into the crevice down here, and then the crevice back here that you can't see. And when we are resecuring the arm, we're going to want to staple these black bits of fabric first, as they are really hard to access once it's all closed up. Now that the arm is back in its position, what we're going to need to do is resecure everything pretty much with the staple gun, and then close it on up and we'll be done. So, like I mentioned prior, what we're going to need to secure first is this black fabric here, because you can't access this fabric once this is closed here. And if you don't secure that fabric, the arm will just start to lift from the inside out. So make sure to secure it. When we're doing this, just follow the same markings where the staples once were here inside the fabric. It's not that difficult. Just go ahead and resecure them here. And then we're going to want to resecure the one in the back over here. And when we're doing this, you just want to make sure that your work looks good. Take a look on the inside here. Is there any fabric that's being left out? Is there anything wrong with it? Right? Is there any bumps or anything like that that you can kind of smooth out when you're doing this? So just be mindful, so that way it looks good when you're done. You're not dissatisfied with the end result here. There's a piece of fabric here that is connected to the arm that I forgot to mention earlier, but you're going to want to just make sure that this is secure, so that way it doesn't look all awkward when you're replacing the or repairing the arm. Then we're just going to want to retack all the fabric here, pull this down, retack this as well, and then we're going to have to pull out the mallet, and then we'll install this tack strip here, so that way everything looks clean and finished when we're done. Alright, so now we're going to want to pull out the mallet. This part isn't too difficult. What we're going to want to do is line it up back into the position. If you see, most of the time the tack strip has holes that it leaves behind. You just kind of line it back up and hammer it back into place. You're going to want to start from the top of the tack strip and work your way down. All right, not too shabby. Then we're going to want to resecure the back here like so. Cool. Next, we're going to want to resecure the dust cover. And if you did happen to damage the dust cover, like I said, we'll link some down below, so that way you can get more. But if not, then just resecure what you have here. Alrighty guys, so now that we have it all completed, arm looks great. Awesome. So if you guys need any tools or anything like that, we'll link them down below in the description. Everything you need will be down below. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment. We'll get back to you guys as soon as we can. Don't forget to like and subscribe on the video. Bye.